Hello everyone, I'm Whitney Bandel and welcome to another video from my Web 243 Search Engine Optimization course. This video covers content from week 4. The learning objectives for this week are learn, understand, and apply campaigns and tracking, learn, understand, and apply findability techniques, and learn, understand, and apply search engine optimization. For the read, practice, and study, you will look at the supplemental material, urchin tracking modules, mobile SEO checklist, sponsored content, and conversion tracking, and passages from Chapter 7, Chapter 10, and then Chapter 11, creating pay-per-click campaigns, and then Chapter 14, optimizing for local search. This final week, we are going to peer into the world of findability, employing PPC, blogs, social media, and ancillary methods to increase visibility helps to increase authority, therefore increasing rankings on SERP. When it comes to increasing visibility via PPC or sponsored content, tracking paid campaign efforts is extremely important. Tracking each campaign effort allows for flexibility and adjustments so that the campaign can be tailored to optimize ROI. Local searches. Leverage reviews to increase local search rankings. Optimize websites for local searches and maximize your social media ranking factors. Get listed. So when you are looking at your website, you want to think about the possible local searches. The reading for this week is going to go into this further, but as a starting point, you want to think about ways that you can add addresses to your website, in particular having location or contact information or sharing that information in an about page. Next, we're going to take a look at blogging. Your textbook will go into some details in things that you should consider when you are looking at blogging. You want to have experienced writers, so people who are going to help keep your content so that way it maintains a good authority. You want to think about the administration. You could consider using contests and giveaways to get readers to continually come back and check content. You can use RSS technology to make it easier for people to keep up to date with the content that you're publishing. You can use interview experts to, again, create collaborations and bring in content from other avenues. You might look at break news or piggyback news. It's a good suggestion to be active in social media websites. You could post your blogs and advertise them in other social media channels. In addition to blogging, you could consider using a forum. You could allow users to post questions. This could be a really great way to create dialogue about your website or the content that's on your website. You can use forums as a way to evaluate consumer feedback. You can also use forums to help you with optimizing for search engines to kind of help bring in traffic. You want to think about how you're going to dedicate resources and time. Again, you could look at content and giveaways. You want to make sure that you set rules for your forum and how information is going to be shared on it. You can ask friends and colleagues to post questions or comments to help get started. And then you can also use it as an avenue for sharing information about your new products, especially since it is a good way to create a dialogue with consumers. Customer reviews. This is another way that you can allow for feedback from customers on your website. This can help with creating trust in your content. So far, we've talked a little bit about social media, and something that you could consider is looking at how you can also optimize your social media experience. So social media optimization, also known as SMO. Now, I found a list of best social media platforms for improving SEO. Your textbook also has a list of a bunch of them that it suggests. The list that I all found were a couple years old. I couldn't really find any that were current to 2020. So some of these will have changed a little bit. For example, Google Plus doesn't exist anymore, but these other social media platforms are rather popular and good ways to share information, kind of depending on the content of your site. YouTube, if you're making videos. Another way for you to share videos is with a website called Vimeo. Facebook and Twitter you're probably familiar with. Pinterest is used a lot, especially tying in information to like blogs. Instagram, you can share pictures. LinkedIn is very popular with businesses and people who are looking to network. Flickr, Quora, and Tumblr. So we've talked a little bit about PPC. That means pay-per-click campaigns. So your textbook is going to go into more detail on this, but some key points that you'll often see is looking at AdWord accounts, looking at how you want to target your campaign, kind of figuring out which keywords would give you the best value for your buck if you're going to invest in a couple of them to try to drive views. You want to make sure that, again, you're writing effective ad copy, so that way you're making the most out of your ads. Figure out how to set bidding strategies, export your PPC reports so you can tell how they're doing, track your conversions, and then look at ways that you can optimize your account. Regardless of your selected tactics, transactional goals must be identified. If a PPC ad or a link within some sponsored content tagged with a UTM results in a user visiting your site, what is the transaction required to count toward the campaign's success? Is it a thank you page resulting from a product purchase or inquiry? Depending on the strategy, each goal must be counted. Goal acquisition is a great method for adjusting campaigns and content to increase ROI. So thinking about what it's going to take for you to consider that campaign a success. Is it somebody purchasing one item on your website? Is it somebody who is subscribing to a subscription? Is it somebody who's joining a newsletter? Is it somebody sending an email or signing up for something? It's up to you to figure out what those goals are going to be, so that way you can track them to see if those campaigns are bringing in enough people to actually meet those goals. So next we're going to look at sponsored content versus native advertising. Content strategist Joe Lazowska's article, Ask a Content Strategist, What's the Difference Between Sponsored Content and Native Advertising, provides us with some helpful definitions. Now, this article is going to be part of your supplemental reading for the homework for this week. So you can go and look at more of these in context, but just looking at the definitions we have. Content marketing, the use of storytelling to build relationships with consumers by providing them with something entertaining or useful. Branded content is a synonym for content marketing. Brand journalism, an incredibly confusing term, specially designed to piss off Jeff Jarvis, copy ranter, and other industry watchdogs. It's used incorrectly by many brands that start a blog and want to play journalist. The term should be restricted to brands that sponsor editorially independent journalism. Think T-Mobile's Electronic Beats, or yeah, that's the only good example I can think of. And that's the problem. Right now, brand journalism doesn't really exist. Native advertising, an umbrella term for ads that mirror the environment they appear in. Google search ads are the granddaddy of digital native advertising, and in-feed Facebook ads are the most lucrative type of native advertising today. Sponsored content in the media industry, native advertising is often used synonymously with sponsored content. However, the two terms are not synonymous. Sponsored content is just one type of native advertising. the brand-sponsored articles and videos that appear on the sites and social platforms of publishers and influencers. Building a campaign. I have some tools that are linked on Canvas for you to look at. One of them is going to help you look at generating a custom campaign and building parameters for advertising URLs. The other one is a campaign URL builder. So I want you to check those out. Then you are going to take a look at conversion funnels. Digital marketer Richard Lindner's article, How to Architect the Perfect Conversion Funnel for Your Business, gives this overview. Conversion funnel, a multi-step, multi-modality campaign that seamlessly and subtly leads a prospect towards a desired action. Breaking down this definition a little further, we have multi-step, multi-modality. You don't turn cold prospects into leads, customers, and multi-buyers all at once. A solid conversion funnel anticipates each step necessary to lead the prospect to the conversion. Campaign. Depending on your business and what you sell, a conversion funnel can require all types of different elements: sales appointments, consultations, landing pages, email follow-up, phone follow-up, visits to your store, and more to accomplish the ultimate goal. The important thing to remember is that it's a process, not a single event. Seamlessly and subtly, a well-oiled conversion funnel removes the friction between the prospect and the conversion. Here's what a conversion funnel is not: a silver bullet. So again, in the supplemental reading, I have this article, and it will help build context that goes into each of these a little bit further. So in addition to the chapter reading for this week, you have these different links. The first two are those campaign builder links that we looked at before. Here we have AdWords Help, cost per 1,000 impressions. So looking at this definition, a way to bid where you pay 1,000 views impressions on the Google Display Network. Viewable CPM bidding ensures that you only pay when your ads can be seen. Existing CPM bids will be converted to VCPM automatically, but it's best to update your bids since viewable impressions are potentially more valuable. Here we have all-in-one mobile SEO and design checklist. So this is kind of our first look at actual mobile experiences and how to work with those in particular. Here they have table of contents, choose a mobile platform, optimize mobile sites for crawling and indexing, optimize for page load speed, optimize design for the mobile UX, implement analytics to track mobile conversion goals, optimize your content for the mobile experience, test often, and optimize user experience. So definitely check that out. Here we have that article that we looked at the definitions. Ask a content strategist, what's the difference between sponsored content and native advertising? I pulled definitions from here, but this will go into details on how these ideas actually work together. So we have our definitions above, and then here we're looking at brand journalism, branded content, native advertising. In this area, in the Venn diagram, that actually is part of both sponsored content. So you can read through this and it'll give you kind of a clearer idea. Here we have how to architect the perfect conversion funnel. And we looked at a couple of these definitions before. This will look at different ways for you to work with conversion funnels. Here we have 3 different types: acquisition, activation, monetization. So make sure you check out all of those links. And then we are ready for our final project. So the objective: learn, understand, and apply campaigns and tracking, findability techniques, and SEO optimization. Students will analyze and discuss how to make their websites more visible and useful to others. Reports will touch on server-side techniques, page code elements, style, and information arrangement. Additionally, students will develop a findability plan and provide examples of tactics that they will employ. For the procedure, using your chosen website, post your URL and thoroughly discuss how to make the site more visible and useful to others. Your report needs to include reference to working examples implemented into your site and should include server-side techniques, page code elements, style, information arrangement, a screenshot of the last 2 weeks of your site's analytics in a JPEG format, devise a findability plan, discuss the tactics that you will employ, whether paid or not, to include the type of tactics and reasonings for employing them, the site goal for each tactic. So if you are, for example, theoretically creating a campaign where you're using different keywords and you're paying for those, figuring out what would your site's goal be. Are you trying to bring in people who are going to create an account? Are they going to be purchasing something? Are they subscribing? At least one UTM for your primary tactic. Explain each section of the UTM and how it helps identify your tactic effort. The URL for each tactic if appropriate. Submit your final report and anticipated future SEO strategies to the Project 5 discussion forum. This should say Project 4. Cite your sources. Rubric: post your URL, a thorough report with valid implemented examples, and future strategy. Your site must be working with the code implemented to optimize visibility and SEO. Site URLs external to your site, newsletters, blogs, or other external site traffic generating techniques must be submitted as per the instructions. All right, so this covers all of the content for the last and final week. Make sure that you post to the discussion and that you comment on other classmates' posts. If you have any questions, you can send me an email, post to the help forum, or you can come in during my office hours.